Jeffrey Epstein has to be one of the dumbest motherfuckers that ever walked the face of this planet. Dude, I don't know what to say to somebody that thinks he's a genius. Charismatic? Not really. Not even really very charismatic, okay? He would, like, people don't want to accept the fact that he was literally just a pedophile. That's it. He didn't get to the top because he was exceptionally charismatic or because he's extremely intelligent. No. He was just a pedophile, and he was willing to sex traffic children and protect other pedophiles, lie for them. That's what he was. That's what a sex trafficker does. He was good at it. Okay, that's why he was elevated to his level of power. Okay, that's it. He was not smart. He didn't play his cards right. He just diddled children. That's all he did. People don't want to accept that. They want to think that there must be some other reason. He must have used his big brain to make the connections he made. No. No, man. They liked him because he diddled children with them. That's why.
He actually goes with the stupid questions. He actually, like, entertains them. He does come off as, like, a person that can kind of talk to anybody. And, I mean, that's why Mossad chose him to do what he did, because that's a rare skill. Watching that, it doesn't make sense how he was able to kind of get trust with a lot of people, because if you didn't know any of the shit about him, like, if you didn't know what he was doing and that he was part of Mossad.
Alright, well, moving on to Tomfo. Alright, this video is called Proceed with Caution Goyim.
The files, I've had a couple people ask me, Tom, what are your thoughts going to be on the files? When are you going to make a video talking about it? Honestly, I've been thinking, like, should I even make a video talking about all this? Should I even, like, discuss it?
What? Yes, you should. What? Guys, should I'm a YouTuber that predominantly makes political commentary content. Should I make a video about the elite pedophile sex trafficking ring that also potentially is cannibalizing children also? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a head scratcher.
Because I don't think I'm going to be able to say anything that hasn't already been said.
Oh, okay.
Kind of looking at it, I think I should talk about it.
Well, when do you ever say anything that hasn't already been said? What the fuck? Huh? That you don't, oh, I don't like brown people. I'm a white person and I don't like brown people. Yeah. What an original thought that is.
I've talked about Pizzagate several times on this channel. I've gone on multiple podcasts, and when people have asked me, hey Tom, what got you into politics? What radicalized you? I bring up Pizzagate, and more often than not, every time I give that answer, people, they go like, oh dude, I completely forgot about Pizzagate. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, it is a big part of my journey when it comes to politics, so I think I should talk about it, so I am. And here's my thoughts on this. Now bear with me, because this might be a crazy video for a lot of people. Some of you will get it, and you'll know why I'm going to say some of the stuff I'm going to say, but a lot of you are probably not. At least unless if I explain it well, then you'll get it, but you guys know I don't do good at articulating my thoughts all the time, so we'll see. But I kind of have this bittersweet feeling with the files being released, and let me explain why. So with the files being released on Friday, it essentially vindicated and confirmed a bunch of stuff. We also learned new things, but out of all the things that we did learn that are new, it's not really a lot. And all the stuff that is basically being confirmed because of the files is stuff that most people who have kind of been keeping up with Pizzagate, Jeffrey Epstein, this whole thing over the past 10 years or so, it's kind of shit we already knew. And so the fact that it's confirmed is nice. It's like a vindication of like, all right, now we know for certain Pizzagate was 100% real, but also at the same time, we already kind of knew that. And why are we being shown these things? Why is now the time where they're going to just come out of the woods and confirm all this stuff to us? Why are we seeing this shit now? And that's kind of why I'm a little worried about all of this and the way it was done. It was done on Friday, and there were a lot of other things that happened on Friday. But obviously, you know, the Epstein list was the biggest one. Something a lot of people have wanted. It's something a lot of people voted Trump into office for a second term to do this, to release the files. Something he promised, something he ended up lying about. And I mean, we got them, or at least we got half of them. From my understanding, there's still like, we got 3 million files. There's still like an additional 3 million they have. And so, I mean, I'm glad we got them, but also at the same time, I'm a little worried. And if you guys don't know that much about Pizzagate, it's kind of hard to explain because, and that's not what this video is.
Why are you worried? What? Look, okay, I haven't spoken about the Epstein shit, and it's because I wanted to react, and I was busy for a few days. I had a friend come into town, went and hung out with them. But anyway. Liberals are loving this shit, okay? They are eating this shit up. I mean, they fucking... Look, liberals, they don't... I'm not saying that they, like, love the pedophilia, okay? Don't like, clip me with that shit, okay? No. Liberals, they love the I told you so. Go to the gym, bro? What the fuck are you watching, bro? Oh, what does it look like I'm watching? I'm watching that real shit. I'm on my prime time grind time. Yeah, but anyway, liberals are loving this shit. They love to say, I told you so. Trump is a pedophile. Trump. Look, I'm gonna be real with you. I obviously, I didn't think highly of the man leading up to the election, but people were calling him a pedophile, and I was like, you know, my position back then was he was protecting pedophiles, but I didn't really think Trump had that in him. You know, honestly, I thought it was like people much richer than him, okay, the multi-billionaires, the gazillionaires. Brooklyn Blade says, yo, what's up? Followed. Thank you, Brooklyn Blade. I appreciate that. I am currently reacting to a Groiper talking about the Epstein files. The Epstein files. And right now he's talking about Pizzagate. Now, when Pizzagate happened, I was there for it. I was on 4chan. I saw it happening. I was a kid. You play any game? Yeah, man, I play mini game. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be gaming after this as well. But anyway, I saw Pizzagate happen. I thought it was crazy. I thought I didn't, but look, I was a kid. Okay, I didn't know. And to be fair, like, on the surface, it's a crazy story. You play COD? I love it. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm not a big COD fan. I do play Payday 2 sometimes, which is, believe it or not, kind of similar. But it's like it's a PvE game. It's a arcade shooter, but it's like a PvE instead of PvP. By the way, I do some cool art stuff. That's cool, bro. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. You got IG? I don't do that. No Instagram, no. Not yet anyway. Okay, maybe we'll get there.
I'm not here to walk you through Pizzagate. If you don't know what Pizzagate is, if you weren't keeping up with it, if you didn't follow along.
Okay, basically, there in the Clinton emails, there were some references to pizza. Okay, they figured out that it was like something with this one pizza place. They go there, the guy like shoots it up. Okay, he doesn't shoot it up. Okay, a guy who was in the Pizzagate threads, he lived in the DC area, and he decided to go there, and he brought a gun, and he surrendered to the police after he shot a lock off of a door, but I don't think he went in. And then they arrested him, and they said that the bullet that blew the lock off the door also hit the hard drive inside of the computer. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yet another official narrative from the government that makes no fucking sense. Okay, like, really? Really, the bullet just so happened to hit the hard drive in the computer? Okay, yeah.
For all the emails and the videos that people were making over the past decade, because it has been 10 years at this point, I'm not going to be able to explain that to you in one video. And I don't really want to make a documentary explaining what Pizzagate is. I'm not going to spend 300 hours just so half of you guys can watch that video. There's already people that have made videos talking about it in much better detail than I ever could that exists on the internet. Now, none of those videos are on YouTube because YouTube nuked all those channels and all those videos, but I mean, If you guys really care, if you guys really want a good place to start, because there's so much, I would have to say Rumble or BitChute. Look up Mouthy Buddha. I'll put the name on the screen. Now you're probably thinking, what the fuck is he talking about? I'm telling you, for like a beginner introduction into what Pizzagate is, you can watch his videos. He's not on YouTube anymore. He was one of the first people to get like obliterated.
I don't know.
I
can't vouch for this person.
So he's on Rumble. I'm pretty sure it's on BitChute.
So I'm not going to.
You're a big boy. You can go on those websites. You can watch those videos. If you don't want to do any of that, then you're just not going to understand the whole context of what's happening, because a lot of people seem to kind of only understand parts of the files of the Epstein list of like what's going on. Like they understand like the Mossad part, they understand the Israel influence, they get the blackmail part, you know, they understand pedophilia, like they understand people were getting blackmailed for pedophilia, they get that, it makes sense to them. But then when you start talking about what Pizzagate was actually really about, which it wasn't just about blackmailing people and it wasn't just about Israel. I know that's a big part, and I know the Mossad angle is the reason why Jeffrey and a lot of these people had the resources they did to do a lot of these things.
So I think we're going to start getting into the occult influence, and this is where a lot of people get lost. That's true. Okay. Now, is there, like, occult happenings at the top of our society? Yes. Yeah, of course. Of course. And look no further than academia. Okay, look at the Ivy Leagues. They literally, openly, are doing occult shit. That's it. They put on the robes, they like meet up, okay? God knows what happens after that. Okay, now they say like, oh, we're not doing anything crazy. It's just like a little, you know, it's a little fraternity thing we're doing, okay? It's just a little hazing or whatever. Okay. Okay, but anyway, basically there's like these deities that according to like crazy people, the god of Christianity and Judaism, Yahweh, in Islam, okay, Allah, this god, right, our god, was like in a fight with these other gods. Baal is one that you've probably heard of, Moloch as well. And apparently people that worship these other deities, they do child sacrifices. Now, here's what I think. Here's what I think about all this shit. Okay, and like, don't get me wrong, my head is spinning too. Okay, but I think that the Baal worshippers, the Moloch worshippers of the world, they really are just in a death cult, a suicide cult, and they're doing all of this evil shit so that we kill them. Okay, that's it. That's how it's like, it's death by guillotine, suicide by guillotine. Do you understand? Like they want us to overthrow them and chop their heads off. I don't know why. But that's the only conclusion I can come to. Why would they release the files if they didn't want this? Like, yeah, I know we forced them to. They could have just lied. They could have just kept lying or make up some bullshit. Why did they release all of this? It's because they want us to kill them. That's what I'm telling. And I don't know if we should. I don't think we should. I don't think we should give them what they want. Okay, no. No, they should go to prison. We should lock them up in prison. Prison for life, okay? Enslavement. Let's enslave them and make them work and toil away. Okay, that's what Ghislaine Maxwell deserves. She doesn't deserve to be in a fucking cushy minimum security prison where she gets to play tennis or golf or whatever. No. She should be breaking big rocks into little rocks. Okay? But if you're wondering why she's playing tennis instead, you can ask your big, beautiful president,
That's
Donald Trump.
In fact, for the longest time, nobody even talked about Israel because there were so many people involved that weren't blackmailed. They weren't blackmailed, they weren't Jewish, they weren't doing it for Israel either.
Mm-hmm.
They were involved with these things because they liked it. They were involved with abusing these kids because they enjoyed it, and for some of them, they had their own motives. And this is the part people get freaked out about. This is the part that kind of scared people. Even when Pizzagate was like just happening, people were getting freaked out about it because it's shit people don't understand. And that is the fact that there's a spiritual element to it. People don't like that. I get it. A lot of you are going to roll your eyes and you're going to say, Tom, what the fuck are you talking about? But I'm telling you.
No, you're right. You're right. I think other people recognize this too, but people don't really try to understand it, because how can you? Look, I cannot relate to people that are in a suicide death cult. I can't. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. MAGA is a suicide cult. Okay, I was kind of a part of that in the early days. Right, but that's like the briefest brush with that sort of thing I've ever had, and hopefully ever will. But yeah, I mean, it's you can't understand it. You can't understand these people's perspectives. Okay, it's too far removed from your own individual experience as a normal average person. Okay, these rich people, they seem to indoctrinate each other. They initiate each other into the cult by using these like novel experiences, these novel sacrifices, right, where they kill people, and then they use it as blackmail or whatever, or maybe not even sacrifices. Maybe it is just pedophilia. Okay, and they're diddling. Okay, but whatever. There's like some kind of initiation ritual where they do something fucked up, they use it as blackmail, okay, it's a test. They're testing each other, okay, to see if you get in, okay? So we don't really need to understand where their minds are at, we just need to stop them, okay, that's it. That's it. So, like, I don't really care if people know about Baal and Moloch, okay, who gives a fuck what they believe. Like, yeah, they're crazy cultists. No shit. They're no different than the fucking the cultist in Far Cry 6 that I slaughter with my machine gun. Okay, they're just like, they're NPCs. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. Okay, and I don't care. But they have to stop abusing children. They have to be stopped. They have to be punished for what they've done. Okay, they need to go to prison. And I'm worried that these people are going to escape judgment because instead of the state punishing them adequately, they're not going to do that. And then we, the people, are going to have to rise up because we can't just allow fucking people to get away with pedophilia. And then we're going to slaughter them, and they're going to escape judgment. They're going to escape this worldly punishment that we are responsible for giving to them. Okay, basically what I'm saying is, death is too good for these people. It is too good. They need to be locked up. Okay, they need to be suffering. Okay, I think that the perspective that I'm sharing is very American. Okay, the reason I say that is because I'm a fucking American. Okay, I get it. Maybe that's draconian or whatever, but like, dude, they're fucking pedophiles. They're pedophile cannibals. What? Prison.
There's more
than
just blackmail. It's more than just people who were attracted to kids. There was more to this, and those are the parts people seem to just not want to acknowledge. And it's like, take for example Jay-Z being in these files, all these normies online freaking out about Jay-Z being in the files, and it's confirmed, and they're like, oh my gosh, how could he? It's like, dude, that's not fucking news. Everybody who was involved when this stuff was unfolding knew about Jay-Z being
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
He's going to all the spirit cooking events. He's into occultic shit, dude. There's people that
I'd
talk
like
about him in the early
to
2000s,
buy a child
into his studio to do rituals and shit over his music production. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of you, and you're saying, oh, that's just not true. That wouldn't happen. That is true. That's why it happened. He's not involved with Jeffrey Epstein because he loves Israel or because they have blackmail on him. He's involved because of the occultic rituals, because of the spiritual side. A lot of people are. And that's kind of the part of Pizzagate that scares most of the normies. You know, it freaks them out because you start talking about blood rituals. You know, you start talking about how they were torturing kids. It's like, what do you think some of those images are? What do you think some of these emails are? You see it. They're not even like having sex with the kids sometimes. They're just torturing them. You think they're doing that just for fun? Because they're sick kicks? They're doing it because they have reasons. They have motives. And you might not believe in spirits or in angels or in God or in any of that stuff. That's fine. But these people do. And honestly, it makes no difference.
I know, man. Well, like, actually, is that why, though? Is that why? I don't know. I don't know. It may be one of those things where yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. Like I said, I don't care what they believe. Yeah, I don't care if they're doing it for spirits or whatever. Guess what? Fucking Baal isn't real. Moloch isn't real. You know who's real? Jesus Christ. Sorry. Hey, sorry if you're like a atheist woke-tard in my audience, okay? But like, yes, I'm Christ cucked, okay? That shit is real though. Moloch? Baal? These motherfuckers aren't real. This shit didn't happen. Okay, no. No, man. These people, these cultists at the top of our society, the elites, they are, and by the way, I think we should stop calling them elites and start calling them what they are. Cultists, okay? They need to be eradicated. They need to go away. Okay, they need to go to prison. That's what needs to happen. And if we murder them instead, yeah, so be it, okay? But that's not what I want, right? I want them to suffer. I want them to be enslaved for what they've done, which is child murder and sex trafficking and just unspeakable acts, okay? Like, I don't care if they did it to appease Baal. I don't care.
Difference whether it's real or not for those kids. It makes no difference whatsoever if it's real or not. It's real to the people that were torturing them. It was real to them, and in those kids' final moments on this earth, it was real for them as well. And that's kind of the part of Pizzagate that freaks people out the most. It's the part people don't like talking about. And I'm not even really here to talk about it. I'm just mentioning it because maybe some of you didn't even know that. Maybe you think it is just the blackmail side. And yes, that is probably the most important angle, but there's so much more to all this. And that's kind of why the fact that these things got released in the way they did kind of worries me. Because you have to ask yourself, why are they showing us this now? A lot of people...
Like I said, I think they want us to kill them. I think they are suicidal. And that's why they allowed it to be released. Okay? Because obviously, the intelligence community, the FBI, they are in the pocket of the rich people. So there's no way this shit, even with Congress passing their stupid legislation, the Epstein file, you have to release the Epstein files. Like, they already proved that they don't have to. They already told us, like, oh yeah, fuck you, we don't have to release them anyway. But then they went ahead and released them anyway. It is suspicious. It is strange. I think they want, like I said, I think it's suicide. I think it is. It's either that, or like, Bill Gates didn't fall in line, fucking Steve Bannon didn't fall in line, like, I don't know, these guys, maybe they just, like, flew too close to the sun, and now Israel is having their day of reckoning. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think it's just suicide. I think that's what it is, man. I don't... What else could it be? Like, what do they think that... Are they hoping that people will just, like, be okay with this? Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think people are gonna, like, overthrow the government tomorrow over this. But this is a big deal. Okay, I'm saying, like, this is gonna continue mattering months down the line. Years down the line. It's over, dude. It is so over.
The Senate and Congress, they passed that law. Like, they have to show us. They don't give a fuck about that. They don't care.
Yeah, no
shit. They were
shit.
40 days over the deadline to show us anything. They only showed us half, and they still redacted a bunch of shit, and they were supposed to release, with every redaction, a written explanation as to why. Not simply, oh, we're protecting a victim. No, they were supposed to release explanations. They didn't do that. And I tried looking for those on the website. I couldn't find them. Maybe you found them,
Sorry.
but they didn't release the reasons for the redactions, other than all the same bullshit. That wasn't what they were supposed to do. They didn't release all the files, and then, you have to ask yourself, why? Why are they showing us this shit now? It's been 10 years since the emails dropped from WikiLeaks. Why are we getting this stuff now? A lot of these emails in these files, they had before WikiLeaks came out with all of Hillary's shit, before Pizzagate was even a thing on the internet. A lot of this stuff the FBI had since 2014. So why now? Why this past Friday? And people did ask that question. What's the answer the internet came up with? The answer was, well, Trump didn't attack Iran, and so Israel threatened Trump by releasing half of the files. It's a warning shot to Trump, so he'll attack Iran. And that seems to be the thing everybody's going with. It's that it's some power play Israel's doing against Trump.
Yeah, nah, because Trump wasn't really much more... I mean, don't get me wrong, he's all over these files, but, like, he already was. The real revelations here were Buttlick, okay? Howard Butlick. We got, who else? Bill Gates was, like, don't get me wrong, he was already compromised, but, like, but now, you know, yeah, shit's crazy, okay? There are others as well. Steve Bannon being in these files, it was extremely damning. I mean, he was already pretty heavily connected to him. But yeah, Trump was just, he's already, like, what the fuck? He's in pedophile central, okay? Like, we been knowing this. Also, I don't think it was because of Trump. I don't think so. Like I said, he's already a pedophile. Like, we already know. We already knew. And these files don't really, from what I've read so far, and there's a lot of documents, right? People are combing through them right now. I haven't seen a lot of Trump that is much more damning than what was already out there. Okay, again, so far. It's only been a few days. 3 million files.
And, I mean, that's
crazy.
Somewhere to start, yeah, because that would be an answer, if it's true. That's why it happened the way it did. Trump grew some balls and said, no, I'm not attacking Iran. But the problem with that is that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense, and I'll tell you why. Does the files have some stuff with Trump in them? Yeah, I think there's like 4,000 mentions or something like that. But most of them are not that damning, to be honest. And I know people would say, oh, that's because they're hiding all the good stuff they have on Trump. And that's why it's a warning shot, because Israel's not playing around. They want him to attack Iran. And it's like, really? Now, after everything Trump's done for Israel, now he grows balls? Now he tells Netanyahu no. Now he says we're not going to get involved with Iran. Did you guys forget he got the Goy of the Year award like in December? He got like Israel's biggest cuck award just a few months ago. You guys are acting like he isn't on their leash. He isn't being completely handled and controlled at this point, that they have to send a warning shot. That doesn't make sense at all, because these files, all they've done is just incriminate Israel. The Mossad connection, 100% confirmed. Jeffrey Epstein, we all knew he was Jewish, but now without a shadow of a doubt, not only is he Jewish as fuck, and he's a Jewish supremacist. There's like no doubt about it. If we have to accept the fact that all these files
I mean, we already knew that. The fuck? I mean, look, everybody, like, what did we know before these files released? Well, we knew that Epstein was ethnically Jewish. We knew that he was a 4chan user. Yeah, he's a Jewish supremacist.
Kerrigan_M said, Jacob, you should let her hair grow out. Kerrigan_M said, like it looks good, TN. Kerrigan_M said, RN.
Thank you, Kerrigan. I will probably do that. I will be growing my hair out more.
For real. And by the way, I don't even know if I do that. Because why would these people be honest about all this? Am I saying the files are fake? No, I think a lot of them are real. But like all of them? Really? You don't think some of them they're fucking with? Like that thought hasn't crossed your mind at all? The government that has lied to us since before World War I, now they're being completely honest and upfront. They've had like these files for over a decade. They didn't fuck with any of them at all. And so that's why it's like I'm a little concerned. Because a lot of things are getting vindicated. Pizzagate, yeah, vindicated at this point. I remember Pizzagate happening, dude. I remember everybody waiting for the WikiLeaks files to drop in November of 2016. I remember Alex Jones' stream that he did the day they came out. I remember everybody going insane. I remember Trump winning, and then like 2 weeks after the election, that dude shows up at Comet Ping Pong and starts shooting. You know, there's the shooting event. He gets arrested. And to this day, I do believe there was some Fed involvement in that. I don't think he was a Fed. I think he was influenced by Feds to go and, shoot up that pizza restaurant. But this whole thing has been weird. And that's why it's kind of hard to talk about this if you don't completely...
Wait, what? That's the way you're... No. Nah, man. Nah, I think Pizzagate, that, like, not only was that shit real, but that guy figured it out. Like, he did it. Okay, they just lied. That's what the feds did, okay? They just fucking lied. That's it. Capitol Police I think it was Capitol Police. They showed up. They arrested him. They fucking blew a hole through that through the hard drive. And then they were like, yo, he did it. Okay.
Understand the timeline. The whole point with Pizzagate was it was exposing so much, and then the only way they could combat it is they had to poison the well, so they started releasing misinformation, stuff that actually wasn't true, and most of us fell for it. Like, almost a majority of people that were making videos talking about it or reporting on it, they fell for the bait because we didn't know they were going to do that. And they had to try and discredit people. So there's always been this weird game being played around this entire subject. And just for them to come out and just release files that are essentially confirming shit. They're using a lot of the same coded language that was in Hillary Clinton's emails with pizza, hot dogs, all this shit. And there's all these other people that are being involved that we suspected because of Pizzagate, all this confirmation, all this vindication just out of nowhere. And that's just simply because Trump refused to attack Iran. That's it. That's the answer? Really? It's like Trump's literally done every other thing Israel's wanted him to do. We're sending warships to Iran. We've been doing that for the past 2 weeks. We've been engaging in espionage in Iran with Mossad. The CIA has been boots on the ground helping Mossad for years. And it's been no different under Trump with fucking up Iran. We fucking struck them last year with the bombs. And now Trump out of nowhere just grows balls. I don't buy it. I don't buy that being the reason why they released the stuff the way they did. And a lot of people are not going to like me saying this stuff. That's why I said I'm kind of worried. Because that's the only answer I've seen people come up with. It's like, oh, it's just because of Iran. That doesn't make sense. Trump is their #1 dude. He is the #1 Goy president, bro. He won an award. His family is like half Jewish at this point. His daughter married into one of the most powerful, influential Jewish families in the world, the Kushners. He celebrated the fact that his daughter denounced Christ to become Jewish. That's who Trump is. That's who this guy is. The only reason he won in 2024 is because he took Israeli money. He's been doing everything they have wanted him to do, but now, because he says he doesn't want to strike Iran, that's why they released the files, which, by the way, don't even really incriminate him at all. If anything, it incriminates them. And it just goes to show that, yeah, Epstein was Jewish. Yeah, he was Mossad. Yeah, he was connected with all the Pizzagate shit. It was all Israel. They gave him a bunch of money. How does that make sense? We're trying to threaten Trump into helping us by doing what we want. So we're going to release all this information that basically shoots us in the foot, that basically announces to the world, hey, we're involved in this pedophilia ring. We know we've been yelling at you saying you're crazy and it's a conspiracy for the past decade, but we're just going to admit to it.
Yeah, man, I don't have anything to say about this. Like, yeah, the people that you are talking to, they are insane. Okay, yeah, anybody that thinks that Israel is behind the dropping of these files, yeah, crazy. Crazy. That is insanity. Okay, but I do think somebody had something to do with these files being dropped at this time, and I think it is the rich people. Okay, the same rich people that were doing all of the pedophilia. Okay, and that's why I'm kind of confused. Okay, but like I said, they just want to die. That's what they want. They just... I don't know. I don't know, man. It's really weird.
Trump grew balls for a random afternoon and said he's not going to attack Iran, even though he's been gearing up to attack Iran for the past, 2 months. That doesn't make sense. And I get why a lot of people would say it, but it's like, dude, I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. And I know a lot of people have said that, people who are very more knowledgeable than I am, but it's just something feels off. There's something very weird going on. And I know you feel it. I know a lot of you guys understand something doesn't seem right. Even with the release of these files, it's almost like we got what we wanted, but we got it in a way that's kind of like blinding, and it's distracting a lot of people from other stuff that's going on. And I know people are going to say, what do you mean? These are the files. This is what we've wanted. We've always wanted this. And it's like, well, yes, but I mean, to be honest, everything I see people kind of freaking out about in the files.
No, man. No. You were saying this a few months ago. No. You're so fucking wrong. No, the Epstein files are not a distraction. Everything else is a distraction from the Epstein files. Okay, it's the fucking Epstein files. It's the elite pedophile cabal at the top of our society. Yeah, it's not a fucking distraction.
I'm not gonna lie, it's shit we already knew. Maybe it's shit you didn't know because you weren't following Pizzagate and you weren't there. Stuff was getting leaked a decade ago.
Wait, no. No, there is tons of new information. We didn't know that Steve Bannon was planning yet again to soften Epstein's image like he did in 2008. We didn't know how heavily connected Bill Gates was to all of this. Okay, we didn't know that Poll was started by Epstein in collaboration with Moot. Okay, we didn't know about any of this shit. And it's crazy. 4chan is a psyop. It's an Israeli psyop. That's crazy. Half of the shit that you say on all the racist shit that you say comes from 4chan. You are literally, unironically, Tom Foe, you are an Israeli psyop on accident. Okay, the difference between you and the people running Poll is that you didn't know you were a psyop. Do you understand? That's the only difference. And it's all just to create division amongst the working class, amongst the broader population of society, the peasants as well. It's to create division between the proletariat, between the peasants. That's what it is. Okay, they want to divide us. It's divide and conquer. It's the same game they've always been playing. That's all it is.
A lot of people kind of woke up to Jeffrey Epstein when he died. Some people don't even think he died. They think he's in Tel Aviv partying with a bunch of 12-year-olds. And I'm not saying that. I don't necessarily believe that. But I mean,
You don't believe that? Why not? He could be. I don't know. I don't believe my lying eyes when it comes to Epstein. Okay, for real, bro. For real. That's another layer of confusion on top of all of this. Okay, like literally, you know, what you were saying earlier about the files being doctored. Nah, I don't really think so, but like, yeah, I mean, conspiracies, they be proven true. Conspiracy theorists be getting vindicated more routinely, it seems. Okay, so maybe he did escape. I don't know, think about it. Like, I used to think that Trump killed him, but he did it to protect other people. Then I thought that Trump killed him to protect himself. Okay, but now I'm kind of thinking, maybe Epstein is in fucking. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the cloning. They could have cloned his body, and then they put that one on the table for the coroner. Do you understand? There's so much shit like they were doing human cloning. They were doing all this shit. It's crazy.
I haven't seen his dead body. I didn't see it. I saw a picture, yeah, but it's like, is that real? I get there's a lot of stuff coming out with these files, but it's shit we already knew. I see all these people freaking out about Jay-Z. It's like, dude, he was going to spirit cooking events. He's dancing with witches. He's been doing this. Yes, we've known that. That's no secret. It's new to everybody else, but to the people that have been paying attention, it's not new at all. And I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool that we're getting complete confirmation from the government at this point, but does that really even matter? Do we even really trust these people at all? Like, I don't give a fuck what the government says. What they say is real or what isn't real. They lie to us every day. We've known about Jay-Z. We've known about the Pizzagate shit. We've known about the fucking breeding farms in Mexico. All these people freaking out about how Jeffrey Epstein's a Jewish supremacist and how he has these breeding farms where he's trying to create a race of, half Jew, half Mexican hybrids, and he's forcing all these women to give birth, and they're doing all these experiments. Dude, people have been talking about that since before Pizzagate was even a thing. Alex Jones was talking about that shit back in like 2013. This isn't new. There are a few things, however.
Yeah, and it's not just that it isn't new. It's not even a new idea. Okay, this is just classic eugenics.
I will say the Bitcoin connection, which is pretty concerning. But I mean, I've heard rumors before that he's connected to Bitcoin. Jeffrey played a role in Bitcoin. I've heard that before. And then I would say the most concerning is his connection to 4chan and to Poll. That's probably the biggest thing we've gotten out of this. But all that does is just connect him more to Trump. And then also it connects him to 4chan, which is weird because a lot of us got radicalized because of the politically incorrect forum on 4chan. And if we are to...
Oh man, that's a head scratcher, bruh.
Believe that all these files are legit, which, like I'm saying, I don't think they're all 100% real. I'm saying most of them probably are, but it's like, dude, really? We're just going to accept that they're all real? Because if that's true, that means he played a role in the politically incorrect forum being made. Which, if you know anything about the history of Trump winning in 2016, that means that he played a big role in Trump getting the internet push that he needed to win that election. Because the reason why he won is because of the internet. It was the first election where social media, in a lot of ways, played a very big role, even more so than traditional cable and mainstream media. And they weren't really ready for that. Like, the establishment wasn't prepared for that to be a thing. And that's why Trump won. That's why he dominated 2016. I would say that, the Bitcoin connection, those are probably the two things that we found out from these files that's the most concerning. Everything else is shit we already knew about. It's stuff people have been talking about for over a decade. And I know I'm not trying to sound like a dick in saying, like, Pizzagate, if you don't understand what that is. If I wasn't there when that shit was happening, and if you were to tell me, hey, you gotta go research this shit and figure out what Pizzagate was, I would be completely lost. Because it's such a weird thing to go through. You kind of just had to be there. It was a very online movement. It was chronically online. It was addictive. It was always something new, and it was very fast, and there was so much shit, and there was so much information, and a majority of it was real. And that's kind of the freaky part about it, is because it took them a while before they started poisoning the well, because there was just so much shit they couldn't keep up with. And so it's concerning to me, because it's like, why would they admit to this? Why would this all come out now? Just because Trump isn't attacking Iran? And if that's the case, if you are right, if that's the reason why these files were released, that's not a good thing, because that means it worked, because that means it did freak out Trump, and that means we are going to go to war with Iran. Why do you think all the markets are crashing? Bitcoin crashed, gold and silver crashed, a bunch of shit happened on the stock market. Why? Why do you think that is? Because the world is literally preparing for a conflict with Iran. Some people are saying it's going to be World War III. And if it's not World War III, at the very least, it's going to be a war with us and Iran. It's going to be a war we're actually involved in. Not proxy, not some bitch shit. It's going to be full on. And it could be over within a week. It could be over within days. Who knows? But it's very concerning because it can go wrong very fast. To just think that the only reason they released these files was just to send a warning shot to Trump, I don't buy that. Because he's in bed with these people. Trump's family is married into this. The only reason he had the support money-wise to become president is because he accepted deals with these people. He's in bed with Israel at this point. He's done everything Netanyahu has wanted him to do. He got Best Goy of the Year award. So don't fucking tell me this is them trying to check him. Why would they do that if all they're doing is releasing half the stuff they have on him by releasing all the other shit they have on themselves? Do you see that? It's like, yeah, you released some stuff on Trump, but you're also admitting to, being the mastermind behind a satanic pedophile ring and funding Jeffrey Epstein and his entire operation. That's kind of more of an own on you. That's kind of you kind of fucking yourself over. And I mean, who knows? Maybe we're at a point now to where the public perception of Israel really just doesn't matter anymore. Maybe we're past that And maybe it's too late. Maybe that's why. Maybe it is just a warning to Trump, and they don't care if they hurt themselves because they're willing to do so because everybody already hates them. All the people that are going to hate them are going to hate them. Is this really going to convince somebody who supports Israel at this point that Israel's bad? I feel like most people who support Israel are kind of just ride or die at this point. You know, like they're not giving up. There could literally be 1,000 videos, 1 billion emails of Israel being involved with Pizzagate and all this shit. I don't think they would care. I don't think it would change their mind. So maybe that's where we're at, and that's why they sent the warning shot to Trump. So maybe you are right, but I just don't believe it. And that's why I'm concerned, because first of all, it's only half of what they have. And second of all, it's coming out at a time where there's so many other things going on. There's all this stuff going on with the Fed involving all these Jewish people. There's all this stuff happening with Iran, possible war, possible escalation into World War III. There's a lot of shit happening. And it's almost like like I said earlier, we're getting what we want, but we're getting it in a way that blinds us to other stuff. And all the normies, you know, that have been kind of screaming for the files to be released, they're getting the files and they're freaking out over shit that we already knew. It's like, I'm sorry, the breeding farms, that's not new. Jay-Z being involved, that's not new. Pizzagate being an actual thing, yeah, that's not new. Like, the people who have been paying attention, what have we really gotten? And also, you have to ask yourself, do you really think this is going to lead to any type of justice at all? Do you think anybody's actually going to get arrested at all? It's definitely pissing off people, and you should be mad. This is something you should be furious over. And the only reason why I'm not more angry about it is just because I've kind of been paying attention to this for over a decade. It's like, yeah, it's disgusting.
I'm not saying it's going to happen today. Not saying it'll happen tomorrow. But yes, I believe these people will be held accountable. You can call it cope, you can call it whatever.
Evil, and it's fucked up, but it's like, I was furious about this 10 years ago, and that was back when you would get called crazy, and it's like, yeah, it's vindicated now, but I'm just kind of more concerned at why are we being shown this? Why are they letting us see these things? Is it bait? Is this a distraction? And I know that sounds crazy, and a lot of people are going to get mad that I'm even saying that. They're going to say, Tom, you're just overthinking it, but I'm being honest. It's like, dude, why would they do this if it doesn't benefit them? Because Thomas Massie got pissed off and was complaining about it? Dude, he's been complaining. Their deadline to release this shit was last year. They didn't care about the fucking deadline. If they really didn't want to release them, they wouldn't. And so I get it's like a victory to get these things, but we have to ask ourselves, like, in what way does this actually benefit them? What are we not being shown? And how much of this is actually real? You know, there's that video of Jeffrey Epstein talking to, Steve Bannon. It's a 2-hour interview. And I see clips on like Insta, people were posting them on Instagram, and all the comments are saying like, oh, it's AI, it's fake. It's a fake video. And it's like, I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's AI, but I mean, that is kind of a concern as well. We do exist in a time period where we have to ask ourselves, are videos we're seeing, is that real? Are these pictures real? A lot of people would say, oh, well, I know how to tell if an AI video is, if it's AI or not. I know how to tell if it's legit. And it's like, well, see, that's the thing is every expert when it comes to AI, every world leading expert with technology and AI has said and agreed upon this, that whatever version of AI the government has, whether it's the US government or China, is a version that is far more advanced than what the public has access to. And that is a concern. The stuff we see, is it actually a real video? Is this actually Jeffrey Epstein? Now, I'm not saying the videos are fake. I think they're real. But it's like, how much of this is legit? And if it's all legit, why are we seeing it now? Why are they giving it to us now? Because they passed some fucking rule? Because they passed some bill? Because Thomas Massie has been complaining about it? I don't buy that. And the answer to, well, it's just a warning shot to Trump so he'll attack Iran. He's done everything they want in regards to Iran. I doubt he fucking grew balls one random afternoon, and that's why we're not attacking Iran. I don't buy that at all. Trump doesn't even really know what's going on. He's falling asleep in meetings. Whatever energy or gas he had in the tank, he spent during the 2024 election. He's kind of out of it at this point. And I know a lot of people don't like hearing that because they're on the Trump bandwagon. I would just have to say, if you're still on the Trump bandwagon at this point, you just need to check out politics. I'm not even gonna lie. Like legit, dude, if you're a MAGA-tard at this point.
That's what they're doing. What do you mean? You don't got to tell them that. Yeah, they're like, nah, I don't want to, I'm just not that into politics anymore. Like, yeah, they already checked out. And arguably, they were never really checked in to begin with.
Point. You just need to not vote.
Be so for real.
Like at all. Like go ahead, enjoy the Super Bowl, check out politics. You do not need to be doing any type of voting for anything. All right. But seriously, Trump is not in charge. He's being handled. We know he's being handled, but we also know who he's in bed with, who his family's in bed with. He's in bed with Peter Thiel. One of the things with the files, if you talk about, Peter Thiel, he's mentioned Jeffrey Epstein is like afraid of him. He's terrified of Peter Thiel. That was some of the stuff that came up. So it's like, why are we being shown this?
Interesting.
And I don't think that's something enough of us are asking. I think a lot of people are just they're just saying they know the reason why. They're like, yeah, it's because Iran. It's because he didn't attack Iran and that's why it happened. It's like, dude, I don't think that's a good enough answer when you consider the history of what this is. And also, if you think about where Trump is, who he's in bed with, all this different stuff, I don't think that's a good enough explanation as to why Israel is just going to automatically admit to Pizzagate. That does more damage to them than it does Trump. So I don't think that's a good explanation. And maybe you're right, and maybe I'm just being paranoid, but it's like it's hard not to be when talking about this stuff because this stuff has been going on for so long. And I mean, maybe it's just me being paranoid. Maybe I just don't want to accept the fact that they're admitting to it, but it's like it just doesn't make sense. And if they are, what are they gaining? What do they get out of this? What is my enemy getting from this? Is this just bait? Is this a distraction? It's good that they did it,
but also the same BG3 after this video.
Sure.
Time, they're not doing it for just because they're good people. Obviously, they're not fucking good people at all. So I think we need to kind of be a little bit more concerned with why this happened, not so much the files themselves. Now go through them. And I'm not saying don't look at them, but we need to ask ourselves why. And I don't think the answer that we've been getting from everybody has been good enough. I think people need to ask more questions. And also, if you are watching anybody and if they seem like they're so sure of what's going on with all this, they're fucking full of shit. They're either a Fed or they're full of shit. There's no way they know. because I don't think anybody really knows. I think this is a very confusing situation. I think the way it's happening, the way it was released,
really?
Some people said, oh, it got leaked on accident, and then they just had to fess up. And I mean, I would honestly say that would be more likely than them just sending a warning shot to Trump, because we're already gearing up to attack Iran regardless. That was happening regardless. Why would we be sending warships and all this shit over there if we're not that? And you could say, oh, it's just because we're trying to fucking check them. It's, dude, half of you fuckers were complaining because Trump went into Venezuela last month. All of you said he did that for Israel, and now you're saying, oh, he finally stands up to Israel, and they just decide to release the files. I don't fucking buy that, and I don't accept that all of this is real to begin with. You're telling me the government isn't lying about this at all? They're lying about a lot, and
Man,
I know
there is no consistency. Don't try to check your audience on like that, like on their fucking consistency or their non-hypocrisy. Like, that's not gonna fucking work. You're a hypocrite. You're fucking, it doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. Not on the right, anyway, okay? It does matter to be consistent when you're a leftist, but that's it, okay? It doesn't fucking matter for you guys. Rules don't apply.
And you could say I'm paranoid, but whatever. I would say we just need to kind of proceed with caution and try to be aware and think strategically, why did this happen? So that's kind of all I'll say about that. But in regards to that video with Steve Bannon, I watched the entire thing and it was pretty interesting. I think you guys should watch some of it just to kind of see how Epstein talks, because he is very charismatic. Like, it's very apparent he's extremely intelligent, but he's not intelligent in a way to where he's like a dick about it. Like, he...
You realize that that's exactly what Steve Bannon wants you to think, right? You do realize that. You don't realize that. What the fuck am I saying? Dog. Dude, Epstein, unironically, he is like Nick Shirley level of stupid. I'm not exaggerating. He is so he was so fucking dumb. Like, watch the video. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein has to be one of the dumbest motherfuckers that ever walked the face of this planet. Dude, I don't know what to say to somebody that thinks he's a genius. Charismatic? Not really. Not even really very charismatic, okay? He would, like, people don't want to accept the fact that he was literally just a pedophile. That's it. He didn't get to the top because he was exceptionally charismatic or because he's extremely intelligent. No. He was just a pedophile. And he was willing to sex traffic children and protect other pedophiles, lie for them. That's what he was. That's what a sex trafficker does. He was good at it. Okay, that's why he was elevated to his level of power. Okay, that's it. He was not smart. He didn't play his cards right. He just diddled children. That's all he did. People don't want to accept that. They want to think that there must be some other reason. He must have used his big brain to make the connections he made. No. No, man. They liked him because he diddled children with them. That's why.
He actually goes with the stupid questions. He actually, like, entertains them. He does come off as, like, a person that can kind of talk to anybody. And, I mean, that's why Mossad chose him to do what he did, because that's a rare skill. Watching that, it doesn't make sense how he was able to kind of get trust with a lot of people, because if you didn't know any of the shit about him, like, if you didn't know what he was doing and that he was a part of Mossad or that he was a pedophile, if you thought he was just some random smart rich guy, you had a conversation with him, I guarantee you most of you guys would have liked him. And I don't even mean from the perspective of, like, oh, he's cool, he's got hot bitches around him all the time with the Victoria's Secret models, and he throws these parties, and he's inviting you to the cool kids party. I'm not even saying that. Like, just from a conversation standpoint, the only thing about him is he's very fucking Jewish. Like, his voice, dude, you hear him, and it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, if I didn't have a problem with that, and if I didn't know any of the shit about him, I wouldn't hate him. But knowing the stuff that we do know now, and knowing how he was chosen by Mossad because he was very charismatic, because he had a skill set with getting people to trust him, you can kind of tell how, like, evil this guy really was. But it's very interesting. I think you guys should check that video out. I'm pretty sure somebody uploaded it to YouTube. It's probably going to be up for a while. I don't think YouTube would delete it at this point. But yeah, man, with the files, it's weird. I'm just worried about why this stuff is happening, because it's like, who does this benefit? And also at the same time, if it is just them being good and just being honest and just releasing the files, it's like, so what? Like, we're getting confirmation on certain things, great, but also at the same time, nobody's going to get arrested over this. Nobody's going to prison for this. And if it is a warning shot to Trump to force him into Iran, then it worked. I saw the tweet that went viral. It said, "Congratulations to all the conspiracy theorists. You're correct. But unfortunately, you were correct." Well, yeah, we knew we were correct. We knew this stuff was real, but kind of seeing them admit to it, it's just very weird. I don't trust them. I don't trust our government. I don't trust Israel. I don't trust anybody who's so sure of themselves. And yeah, maybe I'm just paranoid, but it's like, forgive me for being paranoid. I've been kind of invested in this shit for a long time. And seeing the way all this stuff is played out, if anything, it's shown me that these people are not stupid. I know a lot of people, they get mad when I talk about these people in this way. They say you're overthinking it or you're giving them too much credit. Dude, I don't think you understand. These are the people who control money. Money is not a real thing. And that dictates everything in our lives. Everything in your life, my friend, if you're an American, is dictated by what these people control. I get a lot of them are idiots, but the ones that are really like making decisions, they're not idiots. And those are some of the people that would have to approve this shit coming out.
No, man, you're wrong. You're wrong. The reason that they have all the money is because they had they had all the money to start out with. Okay, do you understand? You use money to make money. When you already have capital, it is exceedingly easy to make more. Okay, here's what you do. You exploit the working class. That's it. That's it. You just do it as much as possible. You erode institutions which protect the working class to make them more scared, more dependent, more docile. Okay, more dependent on you, on the company, on their income. Okay, you make them more dependent. That's what you do. You profit. Okay, because a worker that is docile, they won't unionize, they won't leave, they won't go to another company. They will work for you. Okay, and it doesn't take a smart person to do this, is my point.
Kerrigan_M said, "I just saw a clip of Epstein and it was a close-up of his face. It looks like he has Kuru disease."
I don't know what that is. I don't think he was diseased at all. Other than in the mind, of course. But to my knowledge, he wasn't, like, physically sick.
Kerrigan_M said it's from cannibalism.
I see. Yeah, I have heard of this. It's a neurodegenerative disorder. That's only no.
Look it up.
Yeah, I know. That's like if you only eat human meat. Okay, you can eat human meat and not get this disease. Okay, the problem is if that's like a majority of your diet or all of your diet even. Like I think in the case of the Kuru people, they were like pretty much exclusively eating human meat. Also, wasn't it, it's caused by eating the brain, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's a brain disease, yeah. It's a neurological disease. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think he had that, man.
Kerrigan_M said, "Look on Snap."
I'll look later. Okay, look, he didn't have Kuru disease, bro. That's not it. I don't believe that. He was just a pedophile. He was just... Basically, my stance on Jeffrey Epstein is he was a normal guy up until somehow he met the founder of Victoria's Secret, right? And through that person, he started the sex trafficking, right? He was already a pedophile. Okay. So he was a normal person, except that he was a pedophile, of course. Then he met the guy. He made connections. He started working for Mossad. Okay, he started collecting blackmail on people. Do you understand that? That's how. So he's not like. I don't think he was an exceptionally dumb person, right? I don't think he had a degenerative brain disease.
Kerrigan_M said, "Nah, he ate babies."
You know, I know I've been saying that, and, I kind of believe it. I kind of believe that something like that was going on. Okay, they were eating people. They were eating children. Maybe. It makes no difference to me. Okay, at the end of the day. They're fucking pedophiles. Okay, yeah, they're sex trafficking children. I think that eating people is not so far removed from that. Okay, that's it. But my point is, is Epstein wasn't a particularly dumb person. Okay, he also wasn't a very smart person. Actually, I take it back. Okay, he was definitely kind of stupid. Okay, but he wasn't like medically stupid. I think he was like right on the edge of being medically stupid. But he was mostly just a normal person, except he was a prolific pedophile sex trafficker. Okay, so for all of the elites in our society. But I don't think he had a neurological disease. I don't think he got it from eating people. They're rich. Okay, they're rich. They're not going to have, like, health. That's shit. Like, they're not going to have shit go wrong. Like, they have doctors. They're not going to, get a neurological disorder like that. They're not going to get a brain-eating disease.
Unless it leaked. And that's the problem. We don't really know. I know some people are saying, oh, they did an oopsie. Is that true? Is that really, that's why that happened? And if so, why did they only release half of them? Why didn't they release all of it? And why are there still redactions? And why haven't they come out with a list for the reasons of the redactions? So this is giving me more questions than answers. And I guess that's the problem. So me, I'm just being a little paranoid. I know a lot of people are very happy, but this is like a moment in time. You know how we talk about this on the channel? There's moments in our country's timeline where the country never goes back. You can never go back to the version of America before something happened, whether it's 9/11 or 2008, Trump winning, 2016, COVID, the BLM riots, and then with Charlie Kirk getting shot and dying. Those are moments you can never go back from. I think this is one of them. A lot of people were saying it was Venezuela and what happened there. I truly believe this might be the next moment in the timeline that really is kind of setting us off in a different direction. And I don't think it's a good direction. And we have to be aware of where this is going. And we have to kind of think about it in a strategic term. It's like, what are they gaining from this? Because I doubt they're shooting themselves in the foot for nothing. I doubt they're admitting to this shit for just no reason. Because this makes Israel and Jews look way worse than it does Trump. And that's kind of the point I'm getting at, is it's more damning to them than to anybody else. And that's why I was kind of contemplating, it's like, should I even talk about this? Because I know my take is going to be something a lot of people are just not going to like. They're going to call me a bitch or a fence sitter. They're going to be like, oh man, you just don't understand. It's like, dude, I've been following this shit for a very long time. Like, this is one of the reasons why I am political, is because of Pizzagate. There's elements to this that a lot of people do not understand and they refuse to acknowledge. And it's just very weird that they would just come out and admit to this. But I don't know. I think obviously we should keep looking at them, but is it bait? Is there a reason why? Because there's a lot of other shit going on and nobody's really paying attention to it. And what else is going on? And what is this leading up towards? Something big is fixing to happen, dude. And I don't think it's the files getting released. I don't even know if it's World War III. There's something big, bro, that's fixing that. That's going to happen this year. All right? There's something bad. And I don't like this at all. And that's my thoughts so far. Maybe I'll have to make another video. Maybe we will go over some of the files. I know this is just me kind of like, I don't want to say blackpilling.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page now, man. Yeah, I dread the future as well. I dreaded the future. I'm not gonna act like I was really looking forward to the Kamala presidency, but yeah, I've been dreading the future ever since your big beautiful president won, and you guys were fucking celebrating over it, and now you're having buyer's remorse. Wow.
But I'm just being honest with you on my reaction to this, because I waited to just see maybe more will come out. Maybe we'll get a more clear answer. And the answer I'm getting is not something I'm buying, So that's why I feel the way I do right now. But what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did you follow Pizzagate? Do you know all the different things that happened? Did you follow
I think you're a dumbass.
Like what's going on? Or you knew? Do you even know what